So the scenic route to Sydney. So now I'm in Poland, but just reflecting on a great road trip across Australia's Great Dividing Range and down the other side to the inland high country route down in the autumn to my aunt's place, Uralla and the Northern Tablelands, perhaps like New Zealand, but definitely Australian. Well, this town's been an awesome stop. Good, well, filled up the tank and a good feed at the pub. Bunch of Aussie larrikins. So that night it was time to leave the high country and lose about 1,000 metres, dropping down to where there was a few storms brewing, and I had the first night in the tent. And his mattress and blanket. Pretty sweet little setup. Definitely not unusual to get fog in this area, and I drove south into the Hunter Valley. The birds are up in Gloucester, and beautiful drive down. I only got into the fog in the last 10-15 minutes. Refreshment stop. A long drive across the Sydney Basin to Waterfall. Shane and Taryn are busy packing, so I've got a bit of time to myself. G'day, Shane. That's the driveway and the road. I'm out of the house. My hosts left me the house. They were heading south, so I had a spare day to check out Cronulla. Just a chance to get some food, and the driveway was the main issue. You want to empty your bladder before that one. Actually, I fell off my wheelchair when I mistimed a curb on the side of the road, and my wheelchair went straight back into the middle of the road and then came back again down on the camber. And someone riding the bike past said, "You're right," and I said, "Oh, I could do with a bit of help actually." Classic spinal issues, so I got off my wheelchair onto my shower chair and then realised that I just checked with a tiny few drips. It's set to the top one and I can't reach the thing to change it, so I got back in my wheelchair but still couldn't reach, so I used the that to knock it around. So we didn't video their driveway because it wasn't steep enough for Kamila. Oh, wrong house. So I stayed 3 nights at Shane's place, the first with them, the second on my own, and the third with Kamila. And yeah, he hurt himself pretty badly after I met him, or spent some time with him in South Africa near the start of my round the world trip. So he spent quite a lot of time in wheelchairs recovering. He's still got a bit of a dodgy ankle, but he's doing pretty well. And yeah, so he had some insight into wheelchair stuff, but it was still a bit of a challenge getting around his place and a bit of problem solving. But yeah, the best, as Shane also has, is a can-do attitude. Like that is really what you need to try and figure things out. So it was a lot of fun. Got Kamila to make a few videos of how I got around the place. Shane's partner is great, but she's not real keen on him paragliding again. It's fair enough, it's pretty dangerous, but on the other hand, you end up dying anyway, so you try and do as much as you can. Very rare footage of Kamila wearing sunglasses. And we are on the way to the Blue Mountains. So we're following Andy after a great dinner with him and Casper and Lucy and Molly. And typical Blue Mountains weather. Elevated storms and fog on sunrise. We went through the Blue Mountains, Botanic Gardens, and storms were brewing as we made our way to North to the Hunter. We're getting a good free car wash just before exiting the M1. I told Kamila it's okay to slow down. She's not sure about that. Maybe a few more drops, just as we're thinking about sleeping in my beach shelter, which is like a tent, but only half of it has a... call it a tent, actually. A tent cut in half. And we've gone past the last Kmart, so the $14 tent is not an option for tonight unless we drive all the way back. So by now it was dark, but we ended up being spared of showers through the night. It's awesome to sleep with the sound of the waves. I use that pool noodle to stop my legs falling off. Gives you a bit of confidence if you're going a bit faster.
Oh, come on, like it's hiding its head.
Cooperate for the camera, please. There was a strong southerly change that'll be with us for the rest of the road trip. And I used to work at these lighthouses back in the day. So Kamila thought, yeah, it was a bit of a nostalgic trip to a less visited part of Australia, but of course there was loads of tourists. Any first impressions for this auspicious moment? Oh yes! I've been talking about it for weeks, for months, for years. Are you excited?
About the cake, yes.
It's not cake, Mark. Most of the day we spent at the Forster ocean pools. The bad weather was yet to come. When there's not 100 cars driving past, there's beautiful birds singing here at this free campsite we stayed at last night. Is that a wedgie? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the types of birds.
It looks like the right shape, but I'm not sure if it's big enough. There's two of them actually. Here we are with the tourists. We're thinking of trying the forbidden ramp. No steps for 3 kilometres each way. One of the workers was really supportive. The other one basically said we couldn't go because of the ramp.
Oh, you have dirty wheels.
I like the good old days where you can make decisions for yourself. So we finally made it down the steep tracks to the waterfall. Ta-da! That ramp was fun. Should we do it again?
Yeah, without you, I can run down and up.
I think I might not get a push the second time. So we're taking a scenic drive through the mountains rather than going through Coffs. We're going through this little town called Yulong, and then north. So we now realise that both ways to Yulong have gravel road. So Kamila, be honest, would you rather be driving here or on the highway A1?
No, this one, I think.
It's great. Finally a chance to use the window wipers, and in the enchanted forest, what did we find?
A defibrillator.
Defibrillator, AED. Not just Bidgosh has these things. I wonder if they got their defibrillator before Bidgosh.
Yeah, probably. That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
like
or crocodiles.
Monitor. Really?
So this is our wheelchair accessible walk. As far as we got anyway. There's a lot of these drainage things going across the track, which makes it a bit tricky. And there's another shower coming. It was raining quite a bit when we came here, so camera can't even focus. Here we go. 72. We're at the RSL in Grafton, the classic Australian Saturday night experience. We stayed with Lockie in Ballina, where the southerly was really coming through, lots of showers. Went to Lennox Heads and Byron Bay, and then visited his work at Lismore, and then went up the road to Minion Falls. Kamila had enough of driving, so we did a rail trail walk, then back to Queensland, checked out the natural bridge and the glowworms, and up the sunny coast the next day after the driving test, which was a piece of cake, and then back for a mission with Dobbo. Voila! Voila! Hydrofalling was a great idea, but I didn't manage. Davo could do it no problems, of course. And Kamila decided that maybe she wasn't battered and bruised enough after all. We visited Canungra. Andrew took Kamila for a flight. Then after visiting Phil, we went for a walk, did some standing at home. Kamila dropped off the car and biked back. Dinner and off to Melbourne, where we met up with one of Camila's ex-flight attendant mates. And then that was us.